Today, I would like to speak about debugging. As a software engineer, when we ship a new feature, it might be tricky to debug. For instance, we want to implement a map for the users to find a cafe around where they live or a gym facility. And we want to have that feature to be in place, but also we want to be sure that it works for the end users. And we are never 100% sure. So one thing I would suggest you to do first is to have a user session recording. You have a lot of different tools. User session recording, like you have Crazy Egg and you have other tools like that. If you type user session recording web browser to debug, so if the user has an issue and they contact you, you have the user ID and you can easily log yourself with a user ID to the session you would have recorded thanks to your tools, and the tool would log the user ID, so you can log inside of what the user saw previously. And you can have the information, such as some log information and some other handy details. And then you can replay what the user saw on the screen. And luckily for us, most of the time they hide the sensitive information. We really don't want to have also such a tool on information, sensitive forms such as payment details and all of this, because that would be a major security breach. You have, if you type website session recording tools, I mentioned Crazy Eggs, but you have, what would be some tools you may find? LogRocket, yes, LogRocket is also one. You might have a Mouseflow. I have known that one for quite some time. Mouseflow, LogRocket. You could have Full Story as well. Crazy Egg, the one I was mentioning to you. Then you have Lucky Orange, that's also another one. Smart Look. And then you have the Microsoft Clarity. Microsoft Clarity is also a famous one, although I'm not really a big fan of Microsoft Clarity, but you may find that one quite useful. And that's one way. And then you can use Sentry, you can use log entries. They do have some limitations, but you can use Sentry on the web frontend side. They have a package, Sentry, and you can store the important information on the fallback part. So you have a try catch when you load to the map. If something doesn't go well, you can log the information, useful information for you to debug later on with with Sentry. And then you can have a fallback if it doesn't work. What else can we display for the end user? Something else, so we can keep the user experience as best as we can. And it's extremely important to always give the best user experience as possible, because we don't want to make the user feeling like, wow, it's not loading the map, I don't know what to do, and now I'm stuck and I will just not use the service anymore. Login, having a fallback option where you display something else, an alternative page, would also be super handy. And then having a website session recording tool such as Clarity or Crazy Egg could be super useful, or LogRocket if you do prefer as well. And having an integration with Slack, like Sentry, they do have an integration with Slack, super handy. So you would directly receive a message on Slack mentioning, oh, this is not working, what can we do? and we can set a percentage, a level. If we have something higher than specific threshold, we would receive a message below, or maybe like anything higher than 2%, it means within 5 minutes, it means maybe we have to do something. And that's a kind of alert we can set up for ourselves. We would set up an alert with a threshold and a time range. So if we have more than 2% of errors being thrown within 5 minutes, we would give an alert, and we can also alerting the engineers will be alerted, and they can jump and to investigate what's happening, and they would have the information with Sentry, and so they will be able to easily see the logs and to ship a new fix. I mean, to ship a new release. Lastly, we would have to make sure that why it doesn't load correctly. Maybe it's a web browser, maybe it's something different where they didn't accept the location permission. And again, having a fallback if there's an issue with the permission of the location, what else should we show to the end user? Having multiple steps like this really helps to give the best user experience. And then using like other libraries or SDK or similar tools can really help for you to collect the client-side logs. You could also have weight limiting, like a weight limit response, where you can prevent hitting the limit of the map or slowing. Could have different issues where internet is very slow, and that could be a problem to load the map. So what can we do there? Or we have a firewall, or we have, like I said, the weight limit might be an issue, but also it can be beneficial. Pros and cons. So how can we set a good weight limit there? We could be like something that could help is to set a custom event with the map failed to load event. It depends on the map, the map library you use, but you can set a specific custom event, and then you can log some specific and handy errors for you to investigate quicker. So you see, you have multiple things you can do and to have in place. Like you can also take a close look to the timeout spikes. If you see a lot of timeout spikes, it means like you can have a look on data log, or in my case I use usually New Relic. So data log, New Relic are two good tools to see any spikes or anything unusual, and then you will be able to give a great service for the end user. I wish you a beautiful, happy product building day. Again, today is your day to improve yourself and to provide an amazing user experience and really good values to the company you work for, but also again to the users, and really to be in their shoes and to understand what they need, and to understand the why and why they need this, why not something else, and then to progress this way.